The trailer for episode 7 of The Penguin has been released online, and it gives us a tense look at what's to come in this next installment of the Batman saga. Episode 6 set up a scary situation for Oz, with Sophia Falcone arriving in Crown Point and coming face to face with Oz's mum Frances and Victor. And the new trailer gives us a look at what Sophia and Sal might have in store for Oz now that they have found where he has been hiding and where he has been operating from. The show has been amazing thus far, and I think based on this new teaser and everything we've seen so far, the final episodes can really deliver. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you my breakdown for the Penguin episode 7 trailer, alongside my predictions and theories for that next episode. The trailer will be linked in the description of this video if you haven't seen it already. Before I get into it though, if you want to keep up to date on any of my future content surrounding the Penguin series, the Batman saga, and other upcoming DC projects, then don't forget to support this upload by giving it a like rating and subscribing to the channel. But without further ado, let's dive into my trailer breakdown for the Penguin episode 7. So the episode 7 trailer for The Penguin was released online following another fantastic episode that debuted the other day on Max. The trailer features new scenes from episode 7, which is titled Top Hat, and based on reports, it's going to be directed by Craig Zobel, who directed the first 3 episodes of the show. Now, the official episode 7 preview that Max released didn't give us a whole lot of footage, and you can understand why, because we are coming to the end of the show and they don't want to give us way too much. But what we did get was some hints of important events we might see unfold. We also have to keep in mind that the finale will link directly into the Batman Part 2, so I think it's safe to say that some big things will happen to set up the landscape of that highly anticipated Matt Reeves film. So with all that noted, let's get into some of the things that were shown in this promo for episode 7, and my theories for what could happen. So we start this new trailer by seeing Oz returning back to the apartment where Sophia walked in last week. We know that Sophia is probably going to use Vic, Frances, or the both of them to get to Oz because she wants to make him feel pain for what he has done. The question everyone's been asking is whether Frances or Vic will die next week to set up the finale. Now, when it comes to Vic, I don't think he's going to die because we saw in the Weeks Ahead trailer a few weeks back that following a big explosion underground, Vic is at the location where he presumably meets Oz in the moments afterwards. This makes me think that this event is linked to the final episode, and therefore Vic survives the intense events of episode 7. My theory is that Sophia will probably torture Vic to get some information on Penguin's underground base in the Gotham trolley system. We know that Oz is making waves there, and with him also teaming up with other gangs, Sophia will need to make quick moves before Oz can gain any more power or territory. Again, I don't think she'll kill Vic because he was seen in all of that other footage, but using him as a tool for info on Oz would make more sense. Now, on the flip side to this, we haven't seen anything of Frances in any of the recent trailers beyond what we've already seen of her. And after what she said to Oz about him killing her if her dementia gets worse, it makes me think that there was a bit of foreshadowing there. So I think if anyone was to die out of Vic or Frances in the next episode, it would be his mother, and with that happening, it could be used as the final straw for Oz becoming the Penguin we know. He's been constantly avoiding capture and just about making his way through deadly situations. And with the potential death of his mother, Oz may finally decide to go head first into a war with Sophia come the approaching finale. But you may be asking how we might get to that. Well, the trailer gives us a few eventful scenes to set up the final act of this series. One of those moments is Salvatore Maroni waiting for Oz when he comes to check on his mother and Vic at the apartment. Sal has been waiting there for him, beats him, and asks him to reveal where his operations are. Oz then replies saying that he won't until he knows his mother is safe. and Sal tells him that he can't negotiate his way out of this situation. However, I do think that this episode will have Oz killing Salvatore Maroni. We just saw in episode 6 that Oz had made a big deal with the other crime families in Gotham, and that was right after Sophia tried to derail that deal. So if Oz has one thing in his locker that he can use against both Sophia and Sal, it's the fact that he's convinced other gangs to fight against them. So I think that Oz will get out of this situation with the help from the other gangs, and whether it's in the scene at the apartment or later on in the episode, I think we'll see Oz taking out Salvatore Maroni. It would cause a problem for Sophia, and that would explain why the other scene in the episode 7 trailer shows Sophia asking Julian Rush if he can help her. We know that Oz hustles his way out of situations, and while he's still got to find a way to help his mother and Vic, it would be a complete disaster for him if he was caught and then taken back to Sophia. So I think they'll make it interesting by having the gangs that Oz assembled in episode 6 helping him out of this situation, and then having Oz kill Maroni at some point in the episode. And this brings me onto the other scenes we got in the trailer featuring Sophia Falcone and Dr. Julian Rush, which I mentioned before. Now, there's already some big theories going around about this Julian Rush character, with some believing he's on the path to becoming a villain in the Batman saga. I really like one particular theory, and I think there's a chance they could go down this route based on what we've seen. Now, originally there was a theory that he might actually be on the path to becoming this universe's Scarecrow, but from what we've seen in prior episodes, I don't think that's the direction they are going in. But one that I actually don't mind is one fans have surrounding him actually being a younger or different version of Hugo Strange, as a few of that villain's traits link up with what we've been seeing from this character. Professor Hugo Strange is an ingenious scientist, philosopher, and mastermind of crime. With his background in psychiatry, he possesses an uncanny ability to understand his adversaries more deeply than they understand themselves. Renowned as a leading psychiatrist and authority on criminal psychology, he excels in a variety of disciplines, including holography, robotics, and biochemistry. Additionally, he has demonstrated a remarkable talent for replicating landscapes and architectural designs with precision. Now, if Hugo Strange was in the Batman saga, he would be a slightly different version of the character, and that's what we could be seeing here. Some of the things we've seen from Julian, like the so-called therapy with Sophia earlier on in the season, and the recreation of locations and memories she went through, makes me think of that particular character. It might be a reach saying it's him, but if one twist was to come in these final 2 episodes, I think it might be connected to his character, as it seems weird with him being around and having such an important role this late into the series. On top of this theory, I wouldn't be surprised if it turns out that the Bliss drug is actually Julian's drug, and everything he's conducted from his observations of Sophia to now wanting to be a part of her plans is actually him observing more of his own work or a process of mind control. To me, that would actually be an interesting twist for his character, and one that explains why he is still around all these episodes later. Now, of course, it could turn out that he is just the new character we currently know him as, and I wouldn't be surprised if that was the direction they've taken. But again, it does seem weird to me that he's still around, and his central involvement in this upcoming episode makes that even clearer. In the trailer for episode 7, Sophia asks him for his help with something, and based on what we've seen of his character, I think what she's referring to is the psychological methods he uses to get into an individual's mind. We've seen in previous trailers for the show that they are going to give us some kind of flashback for Oz around the time he was still living with his mother and brothers in Crown Point as a kid. Now, originally, I thought this might be a whole flashback episode, similar to what we got with Sophia back in episode 3. But now, with only 2 episodes left, I actually think that this is a result of whatever mind control process Julian is using on request from Sophia. And whether it's used on Oz or his now captured mother, I'm not entirely sure yet. But yeah, that's why I think we saw that flashback moment in the other promos we've had for the show. Sophia wants Oz to suffer before she kills him, and having what happened to her happen to him or those he cares about would be a fitting way for her to cause him pain. It will be interesting to see whether they do include a twist for Julian's character in these final few episodes, and like I said, I think there is definitely something more going on with him. But this brings me to my final prediction for the episode, which involves Oz potentially donning the iconic costume and hat from the comics. Episode 7 is titled Top Hat, and that title could have a double meaning. But one thing we presume it does refer to is Oz Cobb getting his iconic jacket and top hat that we've seen in other adaptations. We had set photos before the show aired of him having that jacket and hat, so the title of episode 7 likely suggests that this is what we might end it with. Like I said at the beginning of this theory video, I think Penguin is going to make a big move with the gangs he assembled last week. He told them that the key to getting the power they deserve is by working together rather than against one another. The gangs are really the last card Oz has left to play, and with them likely helping him out of this bad situation with Sal or helping him with other plans when it comes to beating Sophia, you'd think that they would be a strong asset he uses in this upcoming episode. So ultimately, I think Oz will don that costume, and I think the end of episode 7 will set up the war between Oz and Sophia for the top hat of Gotham's criminal underworld. But that was my video breaking down the trailer promo for the Penguin episode 7. I will be covering the final 2 episodes here on the channel, so stay tuned for more on the Batman series. But if you've seen the trailer for episode 7, let me know down below in the comment section what you thought of the new footage and what you think might happen in this next episode. For much more videos and news on the Batman universe and DC, then subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Also, if you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like rating and follow me on social media via the links in the description. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I've been Cortex, and as always, make some noise.